We're circling back to a deck that I liked a lot. I liked a lot when we were first working on it. I meant to pull this up a second ago. Let me do it now. I'm gonna show you how the deck used to look and maybe how we got here. This was, back when Cosmogoyf was first being printed. This was before the new Cosmogoyf Fling deck was popular and did so well at the Pro Tour this year. Um, but I hold on. So this is so the general idea is like instead of being all in and you're playing Devour of Destiny and you're playing Thud and you're playing Spoils of the Vault and you're just an all in, I'm going to try to kill you on turn 3 or I'm going to die. The idea is you are playing a Necrodominance deck that gets to interact with your opponent with stuff like Inquisition of Kozilek, Fatal Push, Soul Spike. You get to also just draw a lot of cards if your opponent has counter magic for your for your Goyf and your Fling. If you could resolve a Necro, you could easily fight through that counter magic. And the deck spells have not changed all that much. Although I have cut March of Wretched Sorrow for. I guess I'm down a Cling to Dust for a Sheoldred. Last time we played the deck, I really wanted to play another Sheoldred. And I've cut the Marches to play one main deck Duress and 2 Witherbloom Charms, and I've cut the Thoughtseizes for the Inquisitions of Kozileks. And the reality is, I think this deck had a very fatal flaw in the deck building. It's that when you're playing Thoughtseize and you're playing Overgrown Tomb and you're playing all these fetch lands, the life loss it's really bad for you in this deck. I remember that being very much the case, especially when you're trying to cast Plunge into Darkness to make gigantic Cosmogoyfs. You even just kind of like lose the ability to go like turn 2 Cosmogoyf, turn 3 Plunge into Darkness attack. If you are Thoughtseizing your opponent and if you are taking damage to your lands at the mana base. But despite this like kind of glaring issue with the lands, I really liked this deck a lot. Also, your ability to just go Necro, like draw like 15, discard a ton. Your Goyfs are really big because when your Necro cards they get exiled after you Necro, and you could just very often go Cosmogoyf into Rite of Consumption. And if it's not enough damage, you've gained enough life, then you can just draw a ton more cards and then do it again the next turn. And then I very much liked the Soul Spikes, not only growing your Cosmogoyfs but also helping you finish your opponents off too. So the thought here is that instead we just will not play Thoughtseize and we will just not play Fetch Lands and we'll just not play Shock Lands. We are instead playing a bunch of crappy lands. We're playing Blooming Marsh, we're playing Darkbore Pathway, we're playing Twilight Mire, and a couple of Revitalizing Repasts, which also these do serve the purpose of sometimes being able to protect a Cosmogoyf or Sheoldred from something like a Fatal Push. But we're playing these as our mana fixers for our light green splash, and we actually have no way for our lands or our spells, besides our Necrodominance and our Plunge into Darkness, that deal us damage, which gives us a lot of extra wiggle room on the strategy. It is also going to help us kill faster, where you just go turn 2 Goyf, turn 3 Plunge. You have access to that turn 3 kill. And having access to a turn 3 kill in a deck like this that's playing Necro, playing Sheoldred, playing all these cheap interaction spells, I think is really awesome. So I'm very, very excited for this one. Let's go ahead and get into a league. I give another plea to call the deck Cosmodominance. All right, so the deck is, I currently have it as Necrocosmogoyf. I feel like you're underestimating the clicks you get from having the suffix Goyf in the title. I think I'm going to have to stick there. People love a Goyf suffix. All right, kind of difficult to mulligan turn 3 Necro on the play. It's also difficult not to Serum Powder. Powder's just so powerful in this deck. It just makes any Goyf you have so big. Like, yeah, this is just a 7/8. Could mulligan though. The rest of the hand is pretty weak. I think I'm gonna mulligan again. Okay, then let's just keep this one. Put back the Twilight Mire. Very solid hand. Think I like leading on Inquisition more than push as well. I know the green splash is light. Did you not like Veil in the sideboard at all? It is like entirely because of how light the splash is. Okay, gotta take the counter spell, I think. Have not seen Belcher in a while. Belcher maybe just I think there's some things I like about Belcher. Blood Moon Bust at 37, welcome back. When they print the other Golgari Verge, that would slot right here? Yeah. Wait, are they gonna do that? Are they gonna just make both versions of each Verge? Have they done that with any of the other ones? So they suspend a Lotus Bloom here. Okay. So I guess we're going to go Plunge into Darkness at the end of our opponent's turn to bait the Spell Snare out of their hand. Necrogoyf and Modern Mix for a good clickbait title. Only clickbait title for those who don't know. It's like just a very good modern deck already, I guess. I like that you don't have to pay life when you cast the spell. You have to do that for a lot of effects like this. Hard for them to not snare there. We did draw a Cosmogoyf. I'm going to go ahead and slam the Necro, though. I'm going to try to fling the Cosmogoyf here if it resolves. So I need to get 13 more cards in my exile in order for me to go Cosmogoyf plus fling here. Although there's a pretty good chance I'm going to want to discard something first. So in order to get 13 more cards in the discard, I'm going to have to discard 13, obviously. So my hand size will need to be 18. I'll need to have 18 cards in my hand. So I'm going to draw 16 cards here. I think that's fine. I could even just go... Could just go to 1. Why not? I think this is a fine matchup to go to 1 here. See if we found any soul spikes. Found 1 soul spike. I'll go ahead and fire that off. Did I find a fling? I did find a fling. Okay, so let me... I want the Goyf. I want the Sheoldred, probably. I think I want the Inquisition. I want the Swamp. And I want the fling. Maybe I want a second Inquisition more than I want the Sheoldred. I don't have Duress, right? I only have 1 Duress in the main. Yeah, let's say I don't need the Sheoldred. I'm going to keep these 5 cards. I didn't move fling. Oh, sorry. Great catch. For some reason, I thought this was the fling. Oops. I have a swamp, right? Let me just make sure. So I got fling. Okay, good. Good catch, chat. I guess it's actually a huge problem these hydroelectric specimens can redirect the fling here. Andrew Bot with the 57 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So I guess we will need to go Inquisition, Goyf. They do have the Bloom coming off suspend next turn. So I guess if they just have... I mean, I could take 2... They need to have untapped land Belcher. And so it's not like the easiest for them to have that. They have a sink as well, huh? I think I want to take... Let's see. So if I take... What does the word do here? Word doesn't do like that much, right? If they draw Belcher, they can belch anyways. Right only targets players, so there's no issue with the specimen. Right, okay. Good catch. So, I guess if the specimen isn't doing anything, we could... The word just does literally nothing, though, I think. So I think, I mean, the other thing at least chump blocks. In theory, lets them do more with a Tamashi. I think we're already too cold to Tamashi to care that much about it, but maybe that's not great. Thanks, Andrew, for the tier 2 for 57 months. Game 1 misclick avoided. Yeah, that's a good way to start the stream off. So they may like sink the Necro here, which I wouldn't mind. Looks like they're just going to cast the Whir. All right, take the sink. For what it's worth, this is a game that regular Flingoyf would have had a very tough time winning against the snare counterspell. All right, Soul Spike. We didn't draw an extra black card. So they get to cast the Bloom. They have Seagate Restoration in their hand, I guess, that they can cast. And draw 2 cards with 2 mana left over. Don't think I'm too scared of that. They make white mana. Did they really draw Tamashi? Seems like they're maybe going to float white and cast the Seagate. They're going to Seagate Mystery card. Okay, they did. I don't think floating the white mana does anything. Because there's no way for them to play Tamashi and activate it this turn. Yeah. Okay, cool game 1. Let's go ahead and bring in 3 copies of Duress. Gonna go down all 4 copies of Fatal Push. It's not very easy for me to have Revolt. That is one issue in the deck. Obviously, you sometimes like get Revolt off the Cosmogoyf and stuff, and like you could Witherbloom Charm for Revolt. I'll play at least 1 Surgical. I think I want to go down to Plunge into Darkness. Surgical is pretty good against Tamashii Bloom. Soul Spike can also deal with Tamashii. I think I like the extra Necros or Sheoldreds as things to just slam here. This seems fun. We could maybe play a 3rd Surgical. I think one, we now have the ability to like Duress a Belcher, then Surgical a Belcher. Like obviously if that happens, it's really, really good. Maybe I'll go down. Oh, I trimmed a Rite of Consumption. Okay, I need to make. For some reason, I'm confusing these cards today. I think I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go play 3 Rite of Consumption, 2 Plunge. Let's try that. But how did topic go? We lost to kind of a tough game 3 to Hollow One. It's very close. I think could have survived if I had just Green Sun for Ooze, but then we were dead to some top decks, and I chose to play Fight Rigging instead and Bricked. Had a lot of good hits that kept me alive. Interesting 7 on the draw. Our GOYF is currently really small, but it's good to have double Inquisition on a 7-card hand with a GOYF we can probably resolve. I think I'm gonna mulligan. I think this hand is just a little weak. Maybe this hand's a lot better. Let's keep this Duress into Necro. I think my attitude right now is if I have a 7 or honestly a lot of times 6-card hand that I'm even just like the littlest bit unsure of, I'm just gonna mulligan. Okay, so they have the Belcher. So let's go. Oh, so they also have Sheol plus they have Sheol plus Snare here. Okay, let's take the Sync. This way they won't have the counter spell up. Yeah, I can't delete the Belcher because they can Sheol the Surgical. They top deck the Lotus Bloom, which is an interesting one. So let's take Sheol. Let's take the Belcher, then Surgical the Belcher. I'll just do it main phase so they don't top deck a counter spell. And it's not like any lands that or they could draw Belcher and we could get the card out of their hand, but I think that's fine. So will our opponent concede? Do they have a like a Namor in their deck or anything? No, right now they would just have to win with like Tamashii attacks and Hydroelectric Specimen attacks, but sometimes they could just draw a ton of cards and hold up counter spells and do that. Definitely a strong start for us. And it's very likely this Necro is going to resolve. However, they have top decked an untapped land to hold up counterspell for my Necro. Kind of a disaster, honestly. I don't want to tap out for it. We know they have stock up, so they may play stock up if they draw it. I may draw another discard spell. But that is a bit of a disaster here. My deck is also, a little weird, and I may lose to weird beatdowns. Seems like they're thinking about casting the stock up. Nice. Okay. Great for us. Honestly, I think just with the bloom coming off, they did not need to do this. How can they win the Belchers? They can attack. They've got creatures that can attack, and they can just counter everything I do. Seems unlikely, right? But they're not like 0% to win, but that's the only way they can. So hopefully this resolves. Nice. Now we're currently playing a slower game all of a sudden. I think I'm gonna draw like 10. Should be pretty fine. Drew 2 Surgicals. Interesting. So their hand is currently Snare, Counterspell, and then the 2 mystery cards they found off the stock up. I think Sync is kind of an annoying card for me here. All right, so they have another stock up in their hand, which I guess I'm gonna just pay life to Surgical. Down to 6. So their hand is Counterspell, Snare, Preordain. It's all 3 Surgical Splayed. Alright, so I'm going to keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably just keep extra Sheoldred. Was Surgical Counterspell worth considering? There wasn't a Counterspell in the discard. There's a fling. I know there's a fling, but the GOYF is only 6 power right now, so I don't think it's like. I think it's just better to be resolving the Sheoldred if I can. They also have a snare in their hand, so like this card is not currently great. They put 1 card on top, 1 card on bottom. They have Counterspell, Snare, 2 mystery cards now. GOYF, yeah, GOYF is a 6/7. They find the Tamashi. They did find the Tamashi. Game is actually closer than you would think after the start we had. I'm saying I am already really liking the completely painless mana base. I think this was a huge problem with the deck the last time we played it. Was just our mana was dealing us a lot of damage, and we we pay so much life, and we want to pay so much life so aggressively that it's so much value to have a painless mana base. Maybe it's better to just hold a surgical for the blooms to play around Tamashi. They are bouncing something else here. Good chance to draw Soar and fit in a Necro deck. I played a good bit of Soar, and it's pretty nice with Witherbloom Charm. You could like flip it, deal 5, then have 5 life to pay later. I thought about playing Sword in this build. I think that you could. Totally think that you could. Does this trigger? Okay, it only is a sorcery. That's right. Right. Inquisition or Duress. They have Snare counterspell. Hopefully they don't have a second counterspell. Okay, they have got 2 words. We have again their Belcher's surgical extraction to this game. Okay, they win with a Belcher. It's possible but difficult. And I think with the Sheoldred in play, it's going to be. And we've also surgical their sinks. I don't know that they can. Oh, you're talking about the 3 mana Sorin. I mean that game plan is cool. That game plan is cool. Where you can put your Chancellor into play with Sorin. I saw some of the Jund versions of this archetype playing that card in the sideboard. Maybe it just is better to keep Sheoldred here because they have the snare in their hand. Although I don't really know how they're beating this, and they may be trying to figure that out now. And they say I can't do it. I think it was a really good showing. I think it's exactly why you play this deck instead of the Jund version. Not that the Jund version is definitely worse than this, but like I don't think you were going to be beating the Shoal Snare counterspell deck very often with the Jund Cosmogoyf version, but having all of the discard spells and the Necro, good plan. Can we mulligan this? I don't think so. I think we have to keep this. My attitude with this archetype is just try to find a reason to mulligan. And if you can't, then you can keep. My opponent's on a mold to 6. They're on a mold to 5. Jealous. Jealous. I need the image to bear kindred cards enough to enable this. Bear kindred cards. It's a new Hobbit card. 5 mana 6/6. Other bears you control get +2/+2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a trample counter on up to 1 creature you control. It becomes a bear. Then if you control 3 or more bears, draw 2 cards. So they mold a 5, and then they Grazer Mike and Sith Gardens into play. Kind of predictably brick under Inquisition. A big reason not to play Inquisition. Primeval Titan. Then they cast Rumble. Probably going to find this Gruul Turf as a nice 2-for-1. They're going to have 5 mana next turn, which is 1 short of Tightening. I might need to Soul Spike the spawn token this game. Also possible that we could Plunge into Darkness. I think I'm probably going to pitch Plunge and Necro to Soul Spike. So, one, I want to make sure that they don't have Besage. Their hand is Otawara. I guess they could Otawara the Necro by sacking the spawn token as well. Are they they're going to do that, it seems. Then they won't be able to cast the Titan next turn. Their hand right now is Otawara Titan mystery card. Okay. It's fine, I guess. They play an Urza Saga. Big draw for me. So I do think I'm trying to set up to Cosmogoyf Fling next turn. I might as well Inquisition. It's not super likely it hits. I miss you already, Thoughtseize. I'm going to draw 19. Oh, I guess I'm actually going to go... 23. It's just not very easy for them to deal me any amount of damage next turn. Okay, I did find another Soul Spike. Let's go and cast that. Oh, I found another Soul Spike. Okay. Okay, so they're at 8. Discarding these for sure. Do I want to keep a land? I don't know. I might keep a land. Duress doesn't seem like it's going to do anything. I don't think I'll need the second Rite of Consumption. Why do this with Shelly in hand when you have the ability to draw 15, gain 30 next turn? Well, why would you want to spend next turn gaining 30, drawing 40 against the combo deck when you could spend the next turn killing them? That was my thought. I would rather kill my opponent than gain 40 life and then die to their combo. This also gains 20 life for whatever that's worth. 22. As a Necro player, usually Force of Despair is a key card for matchup. You know, Force of Despair is a card that we probably should be playing. I'm going to just be totally honest. It's a card that, like, I just totally forget in my modern card pool all the time. I agree we probably should be playing it. Alright, what do I want to be bringing in? What sub number of Break the Ice? Probably, like, 3. Is Duress just better than Inquisition? So Inquisition hits Grazer, it hits 6, but Duress hits then Duress hits Scapeshift, and that's just kind of the main difference. I think hitting Scapeshift is really good. So I think I might just do like 4 Duress, 2 Inquisition, and then probably 0 Fatal Push. I'm not a combo player, scared to go all in. Oh yeah, you just gotta go all in with this. This is not a you gotta be brave. I'm gonna keep it in the Witherbloom Charms. Kill an Amulet. Maybe I'll just play 1. I don't think I care that much about, like, Vexing Bauble. If you can Thoughtseize Surgical Titan's big. I don't have any Thoughtseize in the deck. So maybe I'll just play, like, 1 Surgical. They have Rumble. I don't have any Thoughtseizes in the deck. That's kind of the whole point, again. The whole idea is the ability to be fast and have the ability to pay a lot of life. Like here, I might plunge into darkness for 19 and try to find Soul Spike to win on turn 3. I think that's enough for me to try to keep. Do they still try to graveyard loop? Yeah, it really like Titan has moved into like your fast draws are Titan draws, where you have a fast Titan, and then you're slow, and then you have this like really grindy graveyard loop that is kind of your plan B. It's like I think it's a pretty reasonable plan. Okay, so now what we can do is we can go break the ice, and then we can just plunge into our fleeing on turn 4 after we play the Goyf. Or maybe we could play Necro next turn. Feels almost like a singleton Gemstone's acceptable. The problem is if you just have it with Necro, it's a problem. Not the biggest deal, though. Yeah, I think let's just play Necro. Draw 19. Okay, we did find a Soul Spike. Fine pitching Plunge, fine pitching Necro. Found 2 more, nice. Plunge Necro again, and then maybe Revitalizing Repast. Inquisition. And then we do have just the GOYFS Fling for bunch and bunch next turn. So probably want to keep the a Greenland in my hand, Shadow Greenland. So that if they besage you my Twilight Mire, I still have green mana. I guess I don't need this Duress. It feels bad to discard a GOYF, but it should be fine. Vishos for the 21 months. Thank you. Welcome back. God, I hope they play any Desert Dumping. It's funny. So my GOYF is 19 power. They're at 8 life. They do besage you me, but they besage you my Necro instead of my Twilight Mire. Which is kind of weird. I feel like the Twilight Mire looked like the better target. I am liking this deck a lot. You know, this is just one of those ideas that feels like a bit of a breakthrough. Like this was a deck that tested really well when it first came out, and then like as the Jund version has evolved, all of a sudden like it's like, oh, it's just so obvious we should have been playing a painless mana base in that deck. It's a little early to tell as well. Maybe even more than a little. Island Preordain. Aedorex with the 28 months. Thank you. Welcome back. We won both games a draw. I guess we're on the draw again. My specialty. Chat, are we cooked? I guess not. I guess I just take the only card that does anything. I mean, I can push the Tidecaller. Could be worse sandbag Inquisition. I guess, so what do you think they're playing if that's the line you're taking? So they play Silvergill Mentor and they make another 1/1 here. This would be a good Force of Despair matchup, I guess. Alright, I suppose I'll be Fatal pushing the Silvergill Mentor. This is classic spot where you should attack first. You know, people, I think it's good to tell, newer players to attack before you cast your spell. Generally, that's true. There are plenty of times you should cast your spell before you attack, but don't think this was one of those spots. All right, so if they have a Flare of Denial, they have to sack their name more. But they have Force of Negation. Oh no, we were cooked. Oh no. So they pitch the Tide Shaper, so their last card is Master of the Pearl Trident. Let's fucking go, dude. Obviously that Force was a pretty good draw. I'm taking infinity damage down to 7. And now I'm drawing a swamp and I'm dead on board. Let's go to game 2. Okay. So I'm gonna bring in the Requiting Hexes, I guess. I think it's hard for me to play these Duresses. Like maybe the Duresses are really important because Force and Shoal are really important to get, but their deck is also seeming like it's mostly creatures. I think I'm going to trim the Cling to Dust. I'm going to trim a Rite. I think I'm going to trim a Plunge. I don't think I can play the Culling Rituals. Maybe I could play 1. I think I'll play 4 Inquisition, 2 Duress instead. Just be a little bit faster. Maybe on the draw we'll play this. That top deck Force of Negation is pretty good. I guess the good news is I didn't have to figure out how many cards to draw off my Necro. I was not sure. Oh, gotta keep this. My opponent's on a Mold of 6. Spike, I hit the PT Trudge, maybe buy 2 Ugin. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I really like the Ugin Ulamog stuff. Although you might want to play third. If Trudge becomes really, really, really popular, you should probably play third Ulamog. Okay, let's take Hexcatcher, then the Force of Negation, I guess. But the more I'm thinking about that deck and my experience yesterday, the more I'm really liking the Cutting Devours for those stuff. And I don't think it's awful to play Drown of Truth, but I think I still prefer to play a couple Turn Timber Symbiosis there. And I do think that you need to respect Goryo's more than their build was, but overall, that was a really good change to the list. Well, I need to play the Duress here. Just gonna play this tapped, I think. How expensive is this deck? Let me check on the Mox field. I may have accidentally built like a really budget-friendly deck here with the mana base. Looks like Moxfield has it. A TCG player can buy it for $355. Not too bad. About $355. Okay, so Necro has resolved. How do we feel about drawing 19 and just bank? And if we just have a Force of Despair to fling, we're gonna win. I only have 2 flings in the deck. I think it's probably okay here. I guess so. If they have I guess that is bad if they have a Lord top deck. Okay, we did find 1, 2, and we found the Rite of Consumption. Nice. We have 3 actually. So I guess I can actually kill Silvergill Mentor if I want. 1. That might be interesting. And then like play like 2 GOYFS next turn. Yeah, I don't really need to do them any more damage. I have 2 Rite of Consumptions. I guess I'll pitch 1. And then let's see. So I think I want to keep GOYF. I want to keep Sheoldred. I want to keep Rite of Consumption. I want to keep second GOYF. And I want to keep land. Probably basic swamp. So I can cast Sheoldred if they play a Harbinger of the Seas. So this is my 5 cards I'm keeping. So I'm going to be. I think I killed the token just because I'm probably just going to go cast 2 GOYFs next turn to play around counter magic, and so like them just having a chump blocker is like not great for me. And the GOYFs are 17 power; they're at 16 life. Oh wait, you're doing fleeing nonsense? Yeah. Yeah, so I think just to play around my opponent having some interaction here, we just play 2 GOYFs, just 2 17 power creatures. I think I'm just going to draw 3. Okay, they can see the game. Great. Okay, so we are going to game 3 against Mono Blue Merfolk. Probably not a very good matchup. It seems doesn't seem very good. I think on the draw, I'm going to cut all the Plunge into Darknesses. It's actually kind of sketchy I didn't have the extra Rite of Consumption. Well, I guess it's worse if I'm cutting the Plunges. Then we'll try. I think we'll try the culling Rituals on the draw. Maybe just 2 culling Ritual, 3rd Duress. Try that. Would love to find like a double Serum Powder into Cosmogoyf draw. So we have a Serum Powder. I think we're gonna have to use it as much as I kind of like having Inquisition in my opening hand. Just this is kind of what I think this is what I want on the draw is like hopefully a second Powder into a Goyf. So powder this. Oh, so I'm renting some Force of Despairs also. I think I would like to add some. I cannot mulligan. I cannot mulligan this hand on the draw against Merfolk. Although it is nice if I just draw a Goyf, then you know the Goyf is 7 power here. They do have a turn 1 Aether Vial. I wasn't sure if they had that card in their deck. Second Inquisition is nice. Do I care? I don't think I care much about Tideshaper Kick next turn. I don't think I care that much about the Vial. Let me take the Hexcatcher. Definitely the card I care the most about. Tideshaper makes me want to play Takenuma rather than hoping to channel this game. Yeah, that might have been fine. Seems totally fine to me. So they drew a Silver Guild Mentor, which is pretty good. It's gonna like just the damage. So I think what I want to do is Inquisition the Sink. And then I could just Fatal Push the Tideshaper. I don't know if anyone mentioned it, but Ken in the top 8 of the PG chose to be in draw each game, like you had been mentioning. That is interesting. My opponent is choosing not to kick the Tideshaper, so maybe they're going to try to attack with Mutavault this turn. If they attack with Mutavault, I don't know if I'm supposed to push the Mentor or push the Mutavault. Just like this is always a 2-power creature, and this one costs 2 mana to be a 2-power creature. They don't fire up the Mutavault. Okay, well I'm gonna Fatal Push this. I mean, my opponent's hand is Aether Vial Mystery card. So if they drew another Hexcatcher, or if they drew, I mean, it has to be like exactly that. Okay, well I'm gonna play Necro, and if they don't have Necro, at least I have the GOYF as a plan B here. They didn't play they didn't play Aether Vial. What is their hand? I don't know. I don't know what their hand is. I'm gonna go ahead and draw. Let's see. I think I'd kind of want to play a little bit slower here. Maybe I draw 8. 8 sounds like a good number. If I draw 8, then I'm gonna be 11 cards in hand, a Soul Spike. Then my GOYF is base 9 power. After I Soul Spike, I'll have 8 cards in my hand. Discard 3 more. GOYF is 10 power. And then I could maybe play 2 GOYFs and win there. Found Sheoldred, and I found Culling Ritual. I was definitely hoping for the Culling Ritual. So let's go ahead and I think I'm gonna Soul Spike target them. Let's pitch second Sheoldred and probably just the Rite of Consumption here. Are they worried about possible Culling Ritual? I mean, possibly. 1, 2, 3 discard. Is Harbinger much of an issue? I mean, they have to have drawn it. We've discarded a bunch of cards in their hand. We could. I don't know if it's how easy it is to hold the Soul Spike for it. Could maybe have done that. My opponent just didn't play the Aether Vial. So now if I Culling Ritual, I can't quite play the Sheoldred, but I think probably just want to go. Maybe I do just play Sheoldred. It's just so hard for it to not resolve here. And I can't really lose if it does, yeah. I guess if they have, like, the tap your guy, remove all abilities we lose, I think I'll not play around it. Okay. Or maybe we didn't even lose to that. So now maybe we play around. Okay, I just conceded. Okay, we're 3-0. I think I'm really hyped on this deck. I don't know if that has been clear, but I think definitely we learned a lot of lessons from the Jund version, but there was a lot I always liked about this version over the Jund, like the Jund all-in version. And it feels like this build, while being slower, it gets to be infinitely more interactive and resilient. And just like the lesson is, you need to play a painless mana base if you're flinging Cosmogoyfs. So I don't know. I don't want to get too hyped, I guess, but it's cool to be 3-0. I'll say like 2 of these matches would have been very hard to win as the Jund version, because they were like mono blue counterspell decks. So this powder loses us 2 of our flings, but I think that's okay. Let's powder again. Now our GOYFs are just gonna be 14 power, and we're like somewhat likely to find one. Yeah, this hand's just kind of awesome. We just go Inquisition into 14 power guy with double Fatal Push. Which you're longer saying that Trudge. The only like really I guess the MH3 one is kind of playable, but the Ceaseless Hunger. Okay, I've got double Fatal Push for the Kavu. Do I care about Flames? I think I'm just gonna take. Well, I guess I can't play Necro very well. I don't care about the Kavu. I'm gonna take this stuff. Is Hex just better than Push here? Revolt seems very hard to turn on. Revolt is hard to turn on. It could be better. That could be the better card, yeah. Okay, so Plunge of Darkness, great top deck. Although I'll say, like, I don't know how often. I guess you have to have. It's hard to like get the -2 as well. My opponent. Wait, did they keep the one lander? Wait, they graveyard Scion of Draco? I guess they just need the binding. I feel like I might have played Scion of Draco here. Either way, we win. I'm gonna go ahead and cast and pay. I'll just pay 10 or something, 9. Okay. Okay. Deck is chugging along. We might be kind of weak to Leyline Scion with this build, since we don't have an answer to Leyline, we don't have an answer to Scion, we don't have any edicts, we don't have any discard spells that can take it. We may just be able to ignore it. Am I changing anything post board? I think I'll probably play like an extra Duress over a Cling to Dust. Yeah, no Assassin's Trophy or Edicts, so we may be making some changes if we feel like we're particularly weak to this stuff. We can also play Force of Despair on the sideboard. That might just be our answer. Am I working on the Bedroll Cub list this week? I'm likely going to play it in the Challenge Friday. I think the deck is very, very good. Also, next week are a bunch of LCQs. I'm interested to figure out what we're playing for those. But I don't know that the Bedroll Cub deck needs that much work. I'm thinking I might go down to 2 Shang-Chi. I'm not sure what I'd play over it, though. Alright, I guess let's just do this. Yeah, we could just double powder again. You powdering this? My opponent kept 7 pretty fast. I think I'm going to powder this. I think I just want to have just a big fast Goyf here. Okay, then double powder again. Okay, triple powder is crazy. And now I just have like 4 Goyfs in my deck too. This is kind of a funny spot. I can keep like the perfect Necro hand on 7 cards. Or I can mulligan when I have 4 Cosmogoyfs in my deck and 21 cards in exile. This is one of the weirdest mulligan decisions I've ever made. This is like perfect, beautiful Necro hand. How could you ever mulligan this? I think I can't do it. I don't think I can do it. I still have 4 Goyfs in the deck. This is easy mull. This is easy mull the nuts is crazy, I think, but I think you could maybe mulligan this. I don't have it in me. You have 5 minutes if you want to play Modern LCQ. Wait, they start today? No, I didn't realize they started today. I have 4 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna join with Necro. So I can for sure get in. And then I think I'm gonna try to grab Trudge in time on Mana Traders. I'm not Trudge. I mean, I have 3 minutes. I don't know if I have time to get Trudge for the rental service. I have to like return the backup deck too. Sorry, I totally thought that they started next week. Dang, I didn't even realize we had more Trudge content to do. Okay, I really have time to be getting Keen-Eyed Curator here. Alright, we'll see if Mana Traders is fast enough. I would have maybe liked to have changed the sideboard a little bit more. It should be fine. How much time do I have? I have 2 minutes still. I think we're gonna make it easy, comfortably. Was that a filter bitter backup deck? Yeah, unfortunately, we have too much content right now. Well, last year this is the Magic Online Championship Series or Showcase Series. Magic Online. And they're really cool events. I think they're fun to stream. Sometimes I'll record them off stream. But the structure is you have to win all 5 matches to get into a really, really good Pro Tour qualifier, Worlds or does it qualify for Worlds? Maybe it's the next phase that qualifies you for Worlds. I can never remember. Okay, we're lagging really bad. I see 57 seconds. I think I could get there. We're gonna still play the league. I think I'm just gonna have to double queue. If it's Worlds qualify, that's crazy. Expedited. It may be for next year. I know you can qualify through Worlds through the series. I just don't know if it's in phase 2 or phase 3. Oh my gosh, Magic Online! Now is not the time. Update with versions and version and collection. Go to the constructed page. Wait, it looked like it wasn't in. It wasn't right. What's wrong? The deck looks right to me. I'm seeing the X. I don't think I have time. Starts in 20 seconds. Oh no, it's the wrong rule box. Fuck. Or 3 seconds. Okay, I guess we're in with Necro. We're in with Necro. I mean, the Necro deck's been looking good so far. Sorry, I wish I had 10 minutes time. Maybe I should have just grabbed the ooze. My opponent finds Inquisition of Kozilek off the Ragavan. That's really tough. And they got Flames for the Sheoldred too. I mean, the deck's been looking really good. I don't mind playing it. My opponent's also not here yet for the LCQ. I still have 4 GOYFS in the deck and 24 cards in exile here. They flip over a Blooming Marsh. I draw a Witherbloom Charm. I might actually just draw 2 off the Witherbloom Charm. They have a second Ragavan in their hand. Just sack a land, draw 2. Very weird, but... Okay, also very weird draws. I just have 4 GOYFS in the deck, and I only like 26 cards there. My LCQ opponent's not here. I'm gonna play their Thrall, I guess, sacking both treasures. Nope, they decided not to do that. Maybe you could Soul Spike the Ragavan here. Let's not. They flip over Cosmogoyf. Should have Soul Spiked. It'll be a 0 power creature for them. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I was trying to switch to Trudge, and then I didn't quite have the time there. So I guess we'll let them Flames the first Sheoldred and play the second. Let me check if my opponent's here. My opponent's still not here in the LCQ. I mean, a free win would be really weird. You almost never get a free win in an LCQ level event. Yeah, that's true. Trudge may be a deck people are really gunning for. There's also some value maybe in people will just assume I'm on Trudge, and then I'm on this instead. They flip over Serum Powder. Yeah, I know they have Flames for Shelly. Did you not want to cast the first Sheoldred there? I even just said trade for it, right? I know they have it. I know their hand is Ragavan, Doorkeeper Thrall, 2 mystery cards. There's a binding. Looked like Moto was lagging. Over here? No, this looks fine. I guess y'all are right. I guess we should have mulliganed again. I still have 3 Cosmogoyfs in the deck. They flip over Blooming Marsh. Plays a 3/3 Necrodominance. Draw a Twilight Mire. I guess we can be hardcast Soul Spike Control next turn. Not ideal. The hand was very sensitive to Leyline, which they don't have. Yeah. Alright, let's go to game. Game 3. On the play for game 3. I think it was on the play that game. It was a good mulligan. Let's... Maybe I actually care to play... Let's do a 3/3 split of Duress Inquisition. Hitting Leyline Binding seems really important. Yeah, hitting the Inquisition off the Ragavan was definitely tough. Also, they had the second Ragavan too. Okay, on the play for game 3. Let's mulligan down to 6. Not the worst hand on the play ever. I would definitely mulligan on 7. I think if the second Revitalizing Repast was an untapped land, it would probably be a somewhat easy keep. But I think I'm going to go to 5. Didn't you have the green combo deck ready? Trudge? I did not have it ready, no. Okay, so I guess we just keep this. We put back both Soul Spikes. I think this is the best hand. They did keep 7, though. Take the Wear Tear, I guess. We're gonna get a free win and an LCQ. That would be unbelievable. Is my opponent thinking about not playing Ragavan turn 1? Okay, they drew the Steam Vents they were thinking about. Fetching versus playing Steam Vents, sure. Come on, Fatal Push. We're playing this deck in the LCQ because I didn't have time to switch over. My opponent is also here in the LCQ. I'm going to be mulliganing the 7, clearly on the draw. My opponent did keep 7. Gonna go to 5. Gonna keep my 5. Okay. Over in this game, my opponent is gonna smack me with Ragavan, seems. My opponent's playing Boros Energy in the LCQ. Not a great matchup to be on the draw in. Have a second Guided Souls. Would have been a good matchup for Trudge. Maybe just for video clarity. Sorry if this has made the video. Maybe just I think I'm just gonna play the LCQ match on my other monitor and play the trophy match on this monitor for now. And sorry about the confusion. I just really wanted to play these and I didn't realize they were happening today. I thought they were next week. So I am expecting my opponent to consign this Necro trigger. Yes. Okay, I'm dead in the LCQ game. Going to give him 2. My opponent finds an Inquisition. They may cast that. Not too pressed if they do, I guess. So I think I'd like to draw 11 cards off the Necro if they don't have another consign. This way I'm not dying to flames. Oh my gosh, I should have drawn. Okay, I did draw a life gain spell. Sorry, if I didn't want to die to flames, I should have paid. I should have paid 1 less life. I did find a soul spike. Can pay for stub. So I'm up to 9. I'm going to be discarding some cards here. They cycle the Indatha Triumph. Discard 1, 2. Yeah, I think I'm just discarding 3 lands. Got 10 cards in my exile. They flames me down to 4. Thankfully, no second flames. They have a bolt, maybe? They have nothing. Okay, I'm going to go play an 11 power Goyf. And draw... Am I gonna... I don't think I'm really playing around Bolt anyways. I'm gonna draw 3. Yeah, I can't really play around Bolts. Maybe we could have played around Bolt. Will we be 4-0 in this league? My opponent had a whole hand of nothing, and then they can see the match. Okay, so we're 4-0 in the league. Again, sorry about the whole disorganized stream situation. Yeah, I need to be checking that website more often. This seems like a hand we actually just keep. We put back the powder, and we use the plunge into darkness here to grow the Goyf. I mean, it seems like I should take the K command. I have like 120 QP, so yeah, I may play some different formats off stream. So if I draw a black card, and I attack and they don't block, I could pay 19 and then try to find Soul Spike. That's kind of your kill when you just play Goyf on turn 2 like this, is Soul Spike. Sanctum of Ugin's a little weird. They do find a Brood Scale. I did not draw the black card. Yeah, I might hit chip for Legacy, Jarvis. So my opponent is at 18. Oh, sorry. They're at 18. I could have just tried to find Fatal Push here. Sorry about that. I didn't realize they shocked. I think I'm gonna pay 18 and get this up and not be dead to a single Flesh Raker trigger. And then maybe try to take find like Inquisition of Kozilek here or Fatal Push. I found both. It seems like the Inquisition or the Fatal Push is better to make them spend the mana on the Brood Scale. Oh my gosh, sorry. And again, I've blundered a bit because now I'm actually one short of lethal next turn. Although it's okay if they only have one blocker and I push, then I write. Of course, you just put one card in your hand. Should be okay. Yeah, I think playing around Flesh Trigger probably just. I mean, we are dead to it if they have it, so because we know they have the Haywire Might in hand. I guess they don't have the imprintable for the lab. So they do put 2 blockers. So let's Fatal Push the Brood Scale. Attack with our 17 power creature. I guess I'm going to cast Serum Powder. Am I playing any more of the LCQ matches? You can't. You're one and done when you're in the LCQ, right? Or do they let you play just for the prizes? I'm not going to play for the prizes. If I draw a Necro, we can go like write the Goyf and then Necro draw 19. Damn. Okay, I don't think I can Necro draw 1 here. Let's maybe just try to draw a Goyf. Oh, they have a skateboard. Okay. Down a game. Definitely could have played better. So their build is like a little weird because they are playing Sanctum of Ugin. I mean, Break the Ice seems really good against them. They have obviously Temple, Ugin's Labyrinth, Saga, then even some extra colorless lands too. Been cutting the Cling a million times. Might cut second Sheoldred. I don't think I need much more removal besides the push the Witherbloom Charms and the Soul Spikes. Maybe I can trim a right. Could play 3 Break the Ice also. I think I want all 4 Break the Ice. Alright, Mulligan. Would love to have one more black card so I could more consistently plunge into black card for Goyf, but I think you can't really mulligan this in this kind of matchup on the play. My opponent reveals Devourer of Destiny. They say no to Lab, Drowner, Rumble. They do play a turn 1 Blade off of a turn 1 Urza Saga. So if they don't play a blocker, and I do draw a black card, I can try to plunge into darkness and find Soul Spike. So I guess as it stands, let's just go ahead and attack with our Goyf. They don't block this time. So why don't we go... So I guess now we just go pay 11. That way the Goyf is 10 power. And we do find Necro, which is I think what we would want to see here. Yeah, I think we just want the Necro because they have K command plus land. And I think I'm totally cool if they want to spend a mana equipping and spend like 2 mana adapting. I don't think I'm going to Fatal Push the Brood Scale now. Take second Goyf. I think I'd rather have the Necro. Rattlesnake with 25 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So they grab a Springleaf Drum. And then they grab a Skateboard to make me Fatal Push. Interesting. And then they can go... I mean, I doubt they're going to adapt this Brood Scale here, but they might if they don't have another blocker. Skateboard tapping into the land is so cool. Okay, that is what they do. So we've got a dead Brood Scale. They have 5 cards in their hand. They have not played a land this turn. They played an Eldrazi Temple, so they don't have K command. They would have just gone Temple, K command, my Goyf. I top deck Fatal Push, which is insane. Okay. So we are going to game 3 for the trophy. I think I'm going to go down 1 Plunge plus 1 Duress. Quick submit. Culling Red's pretty good against them. It's good. It's good against half their deck. You know, they are a Emrakul Sowing Mycospawn deck, and then they also are like an Urza Saga Brood Scale deck, and it can be okay, but it's also like it's very slow against like this this 2-card combo deck too, where it's tough to be like, I'm gonna let you develop for a while, then I'm gonna sweep, because if sometimes they just kill you immediately. So I don't know, maybe we should have it. Okay, so we're on a multi 5 here with no enablers for the Goyf, no green man. I guess we have to go to 4. Do I have any good 3s? Oh, damn, this has been some tough hands here. They mulled to 6. I think a 6 with 2 IKs was doable. I mean, we couldn't cast our Goyf. I think I'm going to 5 there with this deck every single time. And obviously it's way better than the 3-card hand we ended up with. Maybe should have kept this Break the Ice. I was kind of thinking keep 2 lands Break the Ice instead of 2 lands Goyf. I guess they do need a land to combo here. Dang, the Break the Ice would have actually just like won this game. Fuck, dude. I guess they have the Stirrings to maybe make that not the case. They do need a land in order to combo kill. We could draw a removal spell, or maybe like Necro into a Soul Spike. Yeah, I know, we could have trophied this league. They find a Talisman of Curiosity. Then they equip. Okay, so Necro to Soul Spike or removal spell is good, but also they didn't even find a land to go off next turn. Oh my gosh, I top deck Necro. So I do think I'm just gonna draw 17. If we find the Soul Spike, we need to find the Soul Spike or we're gonna lose. So I think it's just an easy draw 17. Look for the Soul Spike. No. Yes! The last card! The last card is Soul Spike! Let's go, dude. The last card is Soul Spike? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. So there's 1 Rite of Consumption already keeping in my hand. I'm just gonna go land double Goyf next turn, so I guess I'm not even keeping the Inquisition. And I guess I'll just want double right if I go double Goyf. The Goyfs are at 13 power here. This is a mold to 3. They drew a Cavern, so they may go Cavern Talisman. Cavern Brood Scale? No way, dude. Okay, so I guess now I have to go Goyf. Cannot target the Brood Scale, but I'm going to Goyf target them. And I think yet again I'm going to be just trying to find a Soul Spike. I have to. I'm just dead to a land otherwise. Find 2 Soul Spikes, win. Okay, there's one right there. So we know we're alive. If we find the second Soul Spike, we just win. Okay. Not a second Soul Spike. We can win next turn with Goyf Fling again. What a game, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't know. It doesn't. I'm being overly cautious. Just take our time here. I guess I'm not really casting this Break the Ice next turn, although it's really good. So hand is just an Emrakul, and we win the game. So we do get to trophy our first league of the day. A very, very fun game to win on the Multi 3. Nice. Okay, let's make some changes though. So like I really do like this deck's concept here. I do really like this deck's concept. Just like we played it. It's an update to an old build, but just like it's just so obvious in retrospect. You just need to be playing a painless mana base with the deck. Let's see. I'll say I really disliked Cling to Dust this game.